get away. The lights of the hour are doing in the shower. Never a flop, there's no reason to stop. I got my own guitar, I know the chords. I play my cigar, lay it flat on the floor. The east and the west, their battles won't matter. Only the music can settle the score. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then journey to bone. So rock till you die. Yeah, bones ripping my eyes, and when they eat my flesh, but I got the power to win all the hours to rock my life away. The sound of the crowd, the creak of the bones. I play it so loud with my mates or alone. It don't really matter if my world should shatter. I hold it together in honor to stone. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn back to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die.
Hello there, Matthew J. Elliott here, taking time out from doing British things like correcting people's grammar and, well, that's it really, to congratulate you, the listener, for selecting the True Blue Riffcast. Yes, you could have picked any one of the thousands of Riff Tracks themed podcasts on the web, but your perspicacity led you to seek out the #1 Riff Tracks podcast, and for that, you should be commended. Now I'm going to turn you over to your hosts, Dave and Jeremy, and I shall board a flight back to England without even so much as the boxed lunch I'd been promised.
Thank you, Matthew J. Elliott. This is the True Blue Riffcast, the #1 Riff Tracks podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, hopefully by...
Oh, what's up? It's me, Dave. We're just having microphone issues today. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we started a little bit late today. Dave was trying everything and couldn't get his mic to work, so
We had to go
he's on a
with the
different
alternate
input
plan,
source.
yeah.
So aside from that, Dave, how's it going?
Oh, it's going okay. I mean, it's we actually had a massive snowstorm here, so my neighbors aren't going to be able to complain that they can't water their lawns because of the drought.
We're getting our massive snowstorm, or our next massive snowstorm, tomorrow. We're supposed to be getting a lovely 10 to 15 inches of snow. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. No. Not really.
So do you know what I'm excited about?
What's
I'm
that?
excited about James Wen's new movie. What is it? It's not a Birdemic movie. I saw it on his thing.
Oh, the one where he's over in Vietnam right now prepping for it. That's what James Wen is
What's
up
it called?
to. I'm looking. I don't
guess
remember.
We'll jump right into that.
Yeah. Sea Rising. Oh, there's a page for it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's literally all the page for it says is 3 friends went to Vietnam for a vacation where they found romance and more. And then it's a picture of a flooded village with just the roofs poking up above the water. And then underneath it, it just has sea rising, a James Wan picture. Like, he just opened it up in, like, Microsoft Word and just typed it over the thing there. But that's it. That's the last update we got from James Wan. Since
February 25. Oh gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Because
Bad.
it's March already.
He's got like the. You could even find a place that had no power lights.
You know those big giant bird houses. That's like a big apartment complex for birds. Basically, he's standing in front of one of those. And he looks very awkward. Like he's... James, when you're getting your picture taken, stand up straight. Stand up straight. Don't slouch. Don't slouch, James. Which is exactly what he's doing. He's just standing there, kind of hunched forward a little bit. But that's all we got from James right now.
He's James went up to.
Yeah, it's
so
not...
Did you see Cocaine Bear?
We're just jumping all over the place, aren't we?
Yeah, no. This is why I don't run the podcast, everybody. Yeah. I'm just giving Jeremy a hard time.
So, looking at the box office, number 1 movie still, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which I went and saw last week, the same day we did the podcast last week, and I don't get what everybody's complaining about. I think it's a fine movie. I do get the point that somebody made that it's a good Star Wars movie. Like it felt kind of Star Wars-ish. Just as in far like how the setting looked and all the different alien creatures and stuff like that, including the guy who looks like broccoli, as Michael Douglas points out. Number 2 movie, Cocaine Bear. Number 3, Jesus Revolution. Number 4, Avatar, Way of the Water, and number 5, Puss in Boots, which is still hanging in there, even though it's on DVD and Blu-ray and you can watch it at home, and it's still in 5th place.
Such a strange mix of movies we have in the theater now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the best part, Cocaine Bear and Jesus Revolution both opened this past weekend. And
but you never thought you'd say that sentence in your life.
Yeah. And on Saturday, at our movie theater, both movies were coming very close to selling out. And most of their showings on Saturday. Saturday was a very, very, very busy day. Like, we were not expecting it to be like that, and it was nuts. Which, I mean, hey, that's great that many people were coming to the movies, but just the fact that the two of them came out at the same time and both were full, and of course, which one made more money? What's your guess?
Bear?
Cocaine Bear, yes. Cocaine Bear made almost $10 million more. But I mean, Jesus Revolution made $15.8 million, so that's kind of surprising also. But yeah, Cocaine Bear, it's kind of boring. Like, I thought it was going to be...
Yeah, let's do a deep dive on Cocaine Bear.
I'm not going to do a deep dive, but I thought it was going to be like a comedy horror type thing, and it was really just kind of boring. The first, nothing happens really for a while in the movie, and I checked the time, and I'm like, man, it's got to be halfway over. And I looked down, and the movie had been going for 15 minutes, and I'm like, oh god, it's Copper Mountaining. And other people have felt the same way about the movie. Like, they thought an hour or so had passed, and they looked down, and it's 20 minutes into the film. So that's not a good sign. And it's once the bear starts murdering a bunch of people, it's a little more fun. But overall, I just thought it was just kind of meh.
Well, okay, I just found out a couple things I didn't know about this movie, and it's kind of shocking to me that, number one, it was directed by Elizabeth Banks, of all people.
Yep.
And and it apparently is one of the last roles of Ray Liotta.
Yes, Ray Liotta
That's-
is in the movie.
That's
How'd you like that to be your final
terrible.
credit?
It
Oh,
is
what was the
Final
last
Cut.
movie? I don't know. I'm
movie.
gonna look. I'm gonna check
Yeah,
because
I'm looking that up right now.
if that's his final role, like what a way to end
That's
things.
really bad. Poor guy.
Ray Liotta.
Previous. Oh no, it is.
Oh no.
There's nothing. Oh no, oh, he has 3 upcoming. Okay. Oh, thank God.
Okay.
So Fool's Paradise, Dangerous Waters, and April 29th, 1992. What the hell happened on April 29th?
I don't know. That's what I'm. Shopkeeper must save his son from an angry mob during the L.A. uprising after the Rodney King verdict.
So April 29th, 1992 apparently is
That's the Rodney King when the riots happened after.
oh, okay. Well, it's also a Sublime song, which okay.
But yeah, it says a shopkeeper must save his son from an angry mob during the 92 L.A. uprising after the Rodney King verdict.
Okay. Well,
That's gonna
I suppose
be
I get down with that. Remember how
an
great
interesting
things were in
movie.
1992?
No. I was a freshman in high school, so things
I
weren't
was in
that great.
I was in 5th grade.
Shut up. All right, so we do have to talk about our Riff Tracks release, but
Do we really
after
have to?
that, it's the return of the True Blue Bando cast.
Woo!
After we talk about our Riff Tracks thing here, we'll go on a little, like maybe 2-minute ad break or something like that, and we'll get resituated. Give everybody a chance to get out of here who doesn't want to be spoiled for the Mandalorian. Yeah, because we realized that would be the better way to do it last year, during the second season, as opposed to talking about it first and then talking about the Riff Tracks movie. That way, if you haven't watched it yet, you don't have to worry about any sort of spoilers. Yes, that's how we did it last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, let's do it like that again. Screw it.
Or was it last year, or was it the year before? I don't even
That was
remember.
2 years ago because
Right, last year
we
was
did a
the
couple of episodes
Book
of
of
Book of
Mando.
Boba Fett, and then we both were like, "This kind of sucks out loud," so we kind of just didn't finish the Book of Boba Fett.
I think
on
we
the
started.
podcast.
I think we started talking about it again once it turned into Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, this way, there's no spoilers. You don't have to worry about anything. You can hang out if you want, or you can, just go do whatever. Go on with your day.
Yeah. Fine. Go.
But today we're going to talk about another one from the same wonderful mind who brought us Zindy the Swamp Boy. And it's a movie
Renee Cardona
called
Jr.
Yeah, it's a movie called Cyclone. It came out in 1978, the year I was born. What do you know? It came
Hey,
out
you
the
were
year I
a
was
freshman in
born.
high school in 1992, and you were born in 1978.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. Oh, he directed Beaks too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Well, I didn't know that he directed. I didn't know that he directed it. Of course, I remember Beaks.
No, I mean that's what I mean. Just the fact that
Yeah.
that he directed it.
No, I don't. I
All right, Cyclone, 1978, also known as Terror Storm.
Now, fun fact: there is another bad movie named Cyclone that I think was released in like 1987, and it was directed by our favorite person, Fred Olin Ray.
What?
Yeah,
Ah.
it's kind of crazy.
That is a little
But honestly,
crazy.
knowing that, I would rather have this movie than that.
Watch, that's Friday's release. We're releasing Cyclone, a different one. I think. Oh, you know what? Before we get into Cyclone, we should give an update on the Kickstarter real quick.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at that.
So they put up their
here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they put up their first stretch goal, and that is for the 10 free shorts that you can get if you pledge even $1, which is very, very doable for most people. And you get 10 shorts for it. And if you already have those shorts, then you get $10 in credit on the Riff Tracks website.
I usually I have all these.
Yeah. I obviously have all of them. I have all of the shorts that they've ever done. But this is based on the number of backers. It's not based on any amount of money that they've raised. So the first 5 of them have already been unlocked. So you can get Drawing for Beginners, The Triangle, A Day with Fireman Bill, The Hothead and the Forgetter, The Myths of Shoplifting, and Safety as We Play. And the other ones that are coming, Aqua Frolics, which is one of their older ones, Duck and Cover, Flying Saucer Mystery, Campbell's Soup, The Magic Shelf, and The Water We Drink. Those will all be available. And these always get backed super quick. It doesn't take much time for them to do that at all, and I would assume that after that, they are
immediately.
Yeah, and there's also a video that I somehow haven't seen. It came out yesterday. I did work yesterday. It says that they're teasing a very, very special stretch goal. I saw something on Twitter. Let me look. That said something about like a book or something.
A book?
Yeah. Let me check Sean. I think I saw it on Sean's. Yeah, stretch goal. We're writing a book, a whole dang book, about one of the most important and sexiest men alive.
Who was that?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Now, who is we?
It just says we're writing a book. The video has Mike, Bill, Connor, and Sean. So I don't know if it's just like Connor and Sean writing it together, or if all 4 of them are writing it together. I don't know, and I really can't play it. I mean, I can play it, but the link to here, the copy link to a tweet.
Let's see a link to that tweet.
This is what's great about doing these things live. Is we remember things as we're going and realize, oh hey, we missed stuff.
And you get to hear it.
Yes, I'm gonna play this video real quick.
Okay.
Everybody at home will be able to hear it. I mean, you could probably bring up the stream real quick and just turn the volume. Well, no,
we're writing a whole dang book. I'll go ahead and this is kind of dangerous considering our experience this morning, but I'm going to mute my microphone and watch this thing.
Okay.
Well, you watch it. Okay. So here I go. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Muting.
Hello, everybody. It is it is a couple of severals of Riff Tracks guys here. Michael J. Nelson, Sean Thomason, Connor Listoka, and me. I am Kevin Murphy.
No, Kevin absconded with the Kickstarter funds and is listening to Nick Nolte audiobooks down in Mexico somewhere.
Yes, and he is he's started a corporation in the Cayman Islands, and he's just laundering the hell out of our Kickstarter money.
Yeah.
Godspeed, Kevin. I got to hand it to you. It sucks for us, but man,
it was a great idea. Yeah,
it was a great idea.
Keep it out of the crypto though.
Yeah, that's going nowhere, buddy.
He loves that crypto. He just will not stop.
He just wants like some weird duck NFT or something, like a duck smoking a big meerschaum pipe or something, and he thinks that's going to be worth billions someday. So
You're in the Cayman Islands. Why do you have to make it even more layers removed from actual, our banking system? Come on.
Anyway, we are here to promote our Kickstarter, which is going great guns. We're very grateful for that. It's really been amazing.
Hey,
We'll
Jeremy.
thank you again by the time we leave. Don't worry. There'll be no shortage of thanking here.
Yes.
But for the moment, we want
we
to
gonna be
just
watch
call
all-
your
are you watch all
attention.
10
If
minutes
you
of this?
have not backed us yet, and even if you have, that
No, I'm going to skip. I'm going to
stretch
try and
goals
find
have
out what it is.
started.
Oh, I found stretch
And
goals.
Mike,
Hang on.
how would Webster's
right.
dictionary describe a dollar little piece of rolled?
Our promotions.
We're
Crazy
ruined.
land.
We're ruined. And some of them have already been reached. So you get the of drawing for beginners. Good ones to go, including Campbell's Soup, the Magic Shelf. I think that's Bridget and Mary Jo, right? It's your earlobe as you're trying to concentrate. What are we doing, guys? What is our
Okay, here we go.
project that we are working on in secret, in our secret
It's
content
6:02. I think
lab?
that's where they start talking about it.
Gentlemen,
Yeah, I got
Anyone?
Sean, take it.
John, take her away.
We've lost our minds and we're writing a novel about
Yes.
Nick Nolte.
Oh, Nick
Yes.
Nolte. Okay.
Hearing
Yes.
it said out loud, it just is sort of like,
Yeah, when you say it
Just
out
all
loud,
falls
it's-
into place. Yeah.
All right. They're writing a book about Nick Nolte. So there we go. I guess.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, it's a book about Nick Nolte. And I don't know if it's going to be like a biography.
No, they said it was
Or-
a
I hope
novel. They're doing this thing on 372 pages right now. We're reading a book called Edison's Conquest of Mars by, I think his name is Garrett P. Service. And it was written back when Thomas Edison was still alive. It is basically fanfic of a living person. So I'll have to go back and watch that video again, but I suspect this is what it is inspired by. And all four of them are probably writing this parody book
Yeah.
inspired by Edison's Conquest of Mars, but they're just writing like a Nick Nolte fanfic parody.
I can
That's what
see
I'm
that.
assuming.
I can see that, and that could be interesting. I'm sure it'll be funny. Not sure what level we'll have to be at to get that, but as soon as that gets announced, we'll update everybody. But let's jump
But
back
Cyclone.
into Cyclone. Very excited about this. No.
But before
So-
that, let's talk about Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes. No, we're not going to do that. So yeah, this movie was directed by Renee Cardona Jr. And he brought us, of course, Zindy the Swamp Boy, and Beaks, and the Bermuda Triangle. All
He was Bermuda
movies.
Triangle too.
Yeah, all movies riffed from the guys here. And
Now, I think out of all of them, I think you're probably going to disagree. I think you're probably going to go with Beaks, but I think Zindy the Swamp Boy is the best.
oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
Oh,
Yeah, I love.
I know you
Zindy.
love
Like,
Beaks.
I loved Beaks, but I like Zindy more just because of the bleak ending.
Yeah,
like- And this kind of follows suit. And we'll talk about it in a minute. But so this movie, they're in the Caribbean and or Caribbean, depending on how you talk.
if
And
you're a pirate or not.
yes, they're a bunch of people like on a tour boat, like one of those glass bottom tour boats. And there's some people on an airplane that has one of the most hilariously inept crash sequences that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then there's a cyclone, but the cyclone happens like right at the beginning of the movie, and then the rest of it,
That's the movie. It's just these dinguses in a boat.
yeah, in
And then they
a
all
tour
die.
boat with a broken motor. And they do make a joke that the title of the movie should be called Sitting Around After the Cyclone Happens. And this is definitely that movie. There's a lot of nothing that happens in this movie. And then everything happens, and then the movie's over. Like,
Yeah.
it starts off with the cyclone. We get a few snippets of people on land that are like, "Oh, we need to go look for these people because my grandson's out there, or my my children are out there, or there's people stuck on a tour boat that I put out there, and then we're just with these people sitting on the boat doing nothing, collecting rainwater the first time it rains after them being on the boat for 5 days.
Hanging out outside the boat.
Yeah, like sitting on the roof of the boat. Some lady pays a guy like $1,000 or whatever for the rest of his water. And everything's just dumb like this for a while, and then somebody snaps, and there's a dog on this boat, a little like Scotty. Was it Scotty or Schnauzer? I think it's a Scotty. It's not a big dog. It's not a big dog. But the dog's name is Christmas because, as is explained by the owner, the dog was born at midnight on Christmas Eve, the same time as Jesus, and that's why she named the dog Christmas.
No,
that's what she says. That's what she says.
So why didn't she name the dog Jesus?
I don't know, but she named the dog Christmas. And this I have to tell you this. I did send a message to Connor this morning, and I told him, I said, I just watched this movie for the podcast, and I said, what in the ever-loving, sweet, merciful baby Jesus was this movie? And he just said it was a Christmas classic is what it is. So that kind of ties in with the dog thing. Somebody finally snaps and throws the dog off of the boat into the ocean. And then
we don't
this
have
guy...
to talk about this. We don't have to.
Well, yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I'll keep it as brief as possible. Thankfully, we don't actually see what happens next. A guy jumps off the boat, and they're like, "What are you doing? Just leave the dog out there." And the guy's like, "No, this dog is meat." And I said, "Oh no!" And my wife, who was sitting next to me, crafting some hair clips for my daughter's Spirit Week day today, she stopped and she looked up and she had her hand over her mouth, like her jaw was dropped and her hand was over her mouth, like she was completely in shock, just like I was. Thankfully, the man does not kill the dog on screen, but the man does kill the dog and then cuts him up into pieces, and they use it for bait for fishing.
Oh, God.
Except for one guy reaches down and grabs a little piece of the meat for himself and just like eats it. It's so bad. It's so bad. And then they catch like a mahi-mahi. It's like a big fish. And then like right after that, the pregnant woman on the boat, who at the beginning of the movie said she was 6 months pregnant, goes into labor and has the baby. And it is the fastest I've ever seen a baby be born. The whole scene takes maybe a minute at most, where she's laying down and she's like, screaming, and she's making some pushing sounds, grunting, and her husband's there holding her hand.
Like that. You know how in Old, how they take they go to like her point of view when they're like removing her cancerous tumor out of her body.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they do kind of do that. It's she's screaming for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to a shot of the doctor, who of course there's a doctor, and he's lifting up the baby. And as you know, in movies, they can't use actual like newborns and stuff. So this baby was at least a couple months old, and they got it to make it look like it just came out. Yeah, and then they literally pass the baby around to everybody in the boat, which is another like weird. It seemed like they were taking the baby from her at first. I was worried they were gonna like sacrifice the baby, because after what happened to the dog, I wasn't sure where they were going with this movie. But they pass the baby all the way around the boat to like everybody, give the baby back to the mom, and then we cut to the next day, and some random guy in the boat's talking about how this other guy is dead, and then we have a discussion about eating his body. So it turns into alive all of a sudden, and they're all discussing the merits of eating the body as opposed to the psychological
How about
aspect.
you don't?
Yeah, and they asked the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, the human body should have all the nutrients that we would need to survive.
No
And-
thanks. I'll die.
And then it cuts to a wide
Not
shot of the
you.
boat, and there's the dead guy up on the roof, and he's all naked, and there's somebody up there with a knife. And then the next scene, we get another shot of the top of the boat, and there's just like chunks of like body, like meat and stuff strewn across the top of the boat, like they were drying it or
I'm enjoying an
something.
alcoholic beverage while you were describing this, by the way, because I don't want any part of this.
No, I don't blame you. It was all very disturbing. So they eat the guy. It rains again, and they have like a cooler, and they have all these empty Coke bottles, and there was like a bucket, which I presume that they were using the bucket, unless they were just hanging ass over the side of the boat.
Yeah, that's not a fun thing to do.
And so they filled everything with water. There's this old guy. He was one of the plane passengers, and he starts like sneaking bottles of water out of the cooler, but they're glass bottles, so they start clinking, and everybody's like, put the water back, and they start fighting over the cooler, and of course they drop the cooler. Yeah, glass bottles of Coke. They drop the cooler, and it goes right through one of the glass panels on the bottom of the boat, so the boat starts sinking.
Yay!
And then these two planes come. The dad, the mom, and the baby, and somebody else got on like this little, like there was a local boat with like 4 fishermen on it that kind of drifted to them, and they kind of like joined up. And they got on the boat and kind of floated away, and they were found by a steamboat in the middle of the ocean. At least it looked like a steamboat. That was really weird.
Old
and
Man River.
they picked them up, and then they kind of knew where about to look for the other people, so they sent a couple planes, and these are small, like just little Cessna, like
Piper Cubs.
yeah, there's like room for maybe 4 people on them, and they turned them into clown cars when they found the people floating on the wreckage of the boat. At least the ones who didn't get eaten by sharks. They load up on the plane. The plane takes off after like doing these little like skips across the ocean. It finally takes off because there's so many people in it, and then it cuts to the bloody water in the ocean, and that's the end. That's the end of the movie.
I hate it.
Like this movie, I think it was like an hour and 11 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. The cut was 71 minutes.
The original version of the movie is 114 minutes. And then there's a cut version that was 97 minutes.
I don't know.
And
I'm cool with this. I'm cool with it being 71 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
I was fine with that because it was not
I'm
fun
fine with
to
this
watch.
being the TV version. It's cool. I'm
Yeah.
down.
I'm wondering if maybe they didn't cut away in the other versions, the longer.
Oh, I'm sure the other versions are much more grotesque. But I am thankful that. Well, I mean, the best course of action would be not to do this movie at all.
Yeah.
But if we have to, and obviously they thought for some reason they did have to, then I definitely want the shortest version possible because this was just a nightmare.
Yeah. I'm looking and it says that the German and Italian releases were severely censored, toning down the cannibalism subplot. So if that's the 97-minute version, if we got to 71 minute or whatever you said.
Yeah, 71 minutes. I believe. I mean,
I'm glad because I don't think we needed much more detail on the
No, I mean, it was disturbing enough.
Yeah.
With just like what we saw. And, frankly, this is another one and done for me. Sorry, Riff Tracks, but you got my $11. I don't have to watch this again if I don't want to.
Yeah.
So
it was fine to watch. Like, it was entertaining. Like, I was laughing my ass off in between being horrified. But it's good gallows humor riff, I guess, if we want to call it that.
It is 71 minutes, confirmed.
But yeah, I probably won't be watching this one again either, just because it's I know the ending to Zindy the Swamp Boy is but
that's
the
hilarious.
biggest downer.
That's about a kid being eaten by a cougar. I mean, come on.
And the people showing up literally a minute too late.
Yeah, it's a little different, and it's not as gruesome as the things that happen in this apparently very censored version of this movie. I don't resent its existence like Cats or Copper Mountain or Things.
Yeah.
It's not a bottom 10 riff. I just don't want to watch it again just because I don't like the way it made me feel.
Exactly. I agree with that. It just wasn't
I'm not, as the kids say, a snowflake, but I just don't want to see that. It's kind of like how I don't want to see a bunch of old cast members of Star Trek The Next Generation running around a dark set reminding me that they're all old and that, hey, this show ended when you were 13 and now you're 42. And now all these old people are running around trying to have adventures, and it's just depressing. I can feel myself turning to ash. Now, I don't want to feel like that, but for some reason I still watch Star Trek Picard. But I won't watch Cyclone again.
I haven't watched Star Trek Picard since the second episode of the first season.
It's real bad.
That's when they
it's a terrible show.
Started dropping the F-bombs, and I'm like, hang on a second.
Sheer effing hubris. Yes.
Yeah, we don't need that, and I just that was enough for me to not watch it.
No. Not in Star Trek.
No. That's why they still keep talking about
That's like talking about pornography in church. No.
No, we don't do that. All right, so now we get to break down the movie points wise. This is gonna be fun. We might have more points than we did for Hobgoblins 2 from last week. We might. I mean, Hobgoblins 2, let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10. Hobgoblins 2 was 11 and a half points.
Scored pretty low. That is a bottom 10 riff.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
This one I think is
movie choice. Let me say it. I'll put it that way. Bottom 10 movie choice.
Yeah, that I will agree with.
That is down there with Copper Mountain, Cats, Things. What's another one that we hate?
We know how you feel about Oblivion, so
Oblivion I can stomach, honestly. I mean, but I can rewatch Oblivion.
I mean, this is definitely no Dangerous Men here, guys.
Baby Ghost, yes. I'll go ahead and put Baby Ghost in there, even though I think we were the leading cheerleaders to get that, and we were wrong.
I've never felt so betrayed by a movie.
Yeah, like you were supposed to be hilarious, like Roller Gator.
Yeah,
Baby Ghost. I stuck my neck out for you. I'm being like Greg Kinnear in what's that movie? What's that movie about the football player, Invincible?
Yeah.
And he just grabs Mark Wahlberg by the neck and just screams at him, "I stuck my neck out for you." That's how I feel with Baby Goat.
We were betrayed by the ghost.
True.
So, our first point here is plot.
0. There wasn't one.
It was people floating in the ocean.
It was not a cyclone. There was a cyclone for like a minute, and then it was just people pooping in the ocean for an hour.
And then until they killed the dog and then ate each other.
Until they kill a dog. They use it to fish.
Yeah, like what? It's so messed up. So messed up. Acting.
0.
Oh, this is gonna be This is gonna be interesting.
Cats. I don't know if it's gonna be quite like Cats, but
dialogue.
0. I don't know. This might be a bottom 10 one. I don't know.
Cinematography.
Oh God. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 1, just so that it doesn't get to the level of Cats. That's the only reason.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stay with 1 for that. I'm gonna give editing a 1.5 for me personally, because there was some decent stock footage inserted in there.
Oh yeah, at the very beginning when you get like the this goes back to cinematography, when you see like the like the stingray's eye view looking up into the bottom of the boot. Yeah, so 1. Okay, cool. It can be on the same level as Split Second. It doesn't have to be a bottom 10. It could be like just like right above the bottom 10.
Yeah. Effects. So I mean, everything was obviously, practical effects. We need to talk about this plane crash.
That plane crash was horrible.
Because like the plane starts going down because of the cyclone, and it hits the water. We see the nose hitting the water, and then it cuts, and the plane's still in the air, still 10 feet above the ocean, and then it hits the water again, and this time we see water. It's like shooting in the fuselage, but the people in the cockpit are okay, and it's like shooting in, and every single seat in the airplane comes unattached from the bottom of the airplane, and they all pile on top of each other. It's kind of brutal. Watching the people get knocked around on the seats. It's almost up there as the shots of the dummies in the seatbelt shorts. I don't understand why the seats would have come undone like that. I think Kevin makes a joke about how they attached them to the plane with Elmer's glue. And that's what it really seemed like. It just made no sense. But it looked kind of brutal. And then of course we have the flesh chunks, which I guess we would have to count as an effect, like a special effect.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't people.
I don't know.
But it was
give
people. A 2? All right, I'm good with that. Sound and music. This one's
We're
weird.
being very charitable here, ladies and gentlemen.
Sound and music is weird because
I'm going to defer to you on this one because
they had
I don't remember any of it.
I only remember at the very beginning and toward the very end when they were showing the fish, the stock footage of the fish swimming underneath the ocean, because they played really weird, super upbeat game show music, and I don't understand. I don't understand why. And the end credits music was really intense. Not that it didn't really fit everything that had just happened in the last 10 minutes of that movie, because it was absolutely bonkers. So it makes sense that the music was kind of like that. I think I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Okay. I defer to your judgment on this.
Directing. Wonder what this is going to get.
Directing, that gets a big fat 0.
Goose egg.
Sorry, I am not in a mood to be charitable with Rene Cardona Jr. at this point, because this movie was just suffering.
Yeah. And that's why I'm giving the character of the movie itself, that is getting a 0. There's no way that gets anything above a 0 because it was just a whole lot of nothing.
Can we be done with Rene Cardona?
Sure. I mean, I don't think he's alive.
I mean, like Riff Tracks. Can we be done with this man? I mean, I think we've got all the best stuff we can out of him. It's kind of like in addition to Rene Cardona Jr., can we be done with Fred Olin Ray, please?
Well, hang on. There's one other one from Fred Olin Ray that I would really like to get.
What?
That's his unreleased Christmas movie.
Oh, okay. Well, we could do that one. Okay.
There is actually another for Rene Cardona Jr. movie that we got that I forgot about. Somehow missed it on the other list. Treasure of the Amazon.
Treasure of the Amazon.
Yeah. But he also has there's a couple other movies we might end up getting.
From him?
Yeah. There's a movie from a year before this one called The Killer Shark. And
hey, look, as far as shark movies go, we're never going to beat The Last Shark.
Yeah. And then there's another movie,
Shark.
The Night of 1,000 Cats, a.k.a. Blood Feast.
Pass.
So we might end up getting that one, too. Josh says The Last Shark is so good. He also says, I have not watched this riff, and now I'm not looking forward to it.
Josh, unless you're a completist, I'm not even going to finish that.
He might have already purchased it. If you already bought it,
if you already purchased it, go ahead. But
watch it. Just know the majority of the movie is super boring. There's some good riffs. There's some really good riffs. There's
some really good riffs.
There's one when the boat is sinking and they're all like clamoring to get out of it before they get like pushed down by the roof of the boat. And I think it was Bill that says, if only they had watched At Your Fingertips Floats.
Yeah.
That got a really hearty chuckle out of me. I laughed a lot during this movie, like out loud. There was a lot of really dark humor in this one, and it was perfectly fitting. That's the thing I like about these guys. They know when to go darker with it.
When to go dark. Yeah.
And this one was very, very dark. This was darker than The Dark, which, in case you forgot, was something that they riffed.
It was by our pal Graydon Clark, right?
I believe so.
It's not a typical Graydon Clark. Hang on.
I think it was The Dark, right? Wasn't it The Dark? Or am I thinking of something way different?
I know there's a movie called The Dark. Hang on, we'll bring it up on Riff Tracks. See who directed that.
Yeah, that's good. Josh says, I already know Cyclone is not one that Colette will be finishing. No, this one's called The Dark. They did The Dark, Dark Future, and The Dark Power, which The Dark Power is so good. This one, let's see.
Who directed it?
I don't know. Willem Devane stars in it.
Yeah, I know that. But for some reason, I thought that this was a Graydon Clark thing. But
hang on, I'm trying to find.
Apparently, I was wrong.
There it is. This one came out in 1979. This one was. This was John Cardos and one Mr. Toby Hooper. Same guy who, the same guy who gave us. I'm probably mispronouncing his first name. I don't know if it's Tobe or Toby or what. The guy who made Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist and Life Force.
Well, now I want to know what I was confusing this with. So I'm
Graydon
just going to
Clark
go through
did
Graydon
Dark
Clark.
Future. Dark Future.
Oh, see, that was it.
Thanks,
so I don't
Josh.
have to go through Graydon Clark's
Yeah, I knew there
entire
was one.
filmography. We need more of that. Hey, yeah, instead of doing Renee Cardona movies, just do more Graydon Clark movies.
He's got a few more that we could get that are like sci-fi weirdness. I think there's. Let's see. Since we're just kind of going
Saints
over on
cheerleaders,
this.
whatever that is, I'm sure that's not disgusting.
Without Warning would be good.
Okay.
I don't know about the other ones, but I mean, we don't need to watch Joysticks
No.
or what he did one like the car wash or something. It wasn't the car wash, like not the one you're thinking of, but because he started off with black shampoo. That's the one I'm thinking of. Some exploitation movies, like, hey, he was born in Michigan.
I just saw a picture of. I was on IMDb. I just saw a picture of. I might get in trouble for saying this because I made a joke about Wednesday Addams on Facebook that didn't go over very well with some people. But I just saw a picture of Renee of Jenny Ortega on IMDb, and she just looked like gaunt and gross. And like the subtitle underneath it is like Gen Z fashion icons, and I'm like, really?
Oh man! Well, our final score on our lovely scale here for Cyclone. You ready for this? 12 points.
Oh, did we rate the riff?
I gave it a 5.
Okay, well,
I think the riffs they're so good and they're so dark, and I love dark humor. So, 12 points. So it beat Hobgoblins 2 by half a point.
Okay, well, that's good at least. I think it just barely. I mean, I don't know what the bottom 10 are, and I don't know if this gets into it, but I think it might be close.
Yeah. At least since we started doing our rating system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Hey Dave,
Yeah.
got a question for you.
No, I would not watch this movie on Rift. I would not.
Same. Absolutely same. There's no way I would watch this movie on Rift. I probably won't watch it ever again. So this movie was it was an experience. Not a good one, but it was an experience.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Cyclone. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else.
I didn't have very much to say about it, but it's like, yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
But that's gonna wrap us up for the Riffcast part of our podcast today. We're gonna take
same podcast.
It's the same podcast. We're just gonna take a short little break. Let people who don't want any spoilers for Mando dip out. We're gonna take a 2.5 minute break. And then we'll be back with our discussion of season 3 opener of The Mandalorian. And so for those of you who don't want your spoilers, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening to us ramble about this awful, awful, awful movie. On so many levels, it's bad. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at TBRiffcast, and you can find me pretty much anywhere online at PBandAwesome.
Check me out on Twitter at DChadwickAuthor, and check me out on Amazon, Audible. Just search Dave Chadwick Monkey, Tumbleweed Dossier, Son of Santa, Happy Valley. It's all up there. In fact, I just started writing my new book here. I'm pretty deep into it. I've told Jeremy a little bit about it, but I'm keeping this one close to the vest.
Yep, I don't even know that much about it. So for those of you who are taking off, again, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.
For those of you sticking out, we will be right back. Except for the couple of you who are subscribed, you'll still be able to see us. So,
all right, I'm gonna run to the other room and get more alcohol. I'll be back.
All right. Oh man. Yeah, that movie's rough. It's rough.
I hated it.
Clink, clink. So, Josh, how's it going? I had the ad-free version of Paramount Plus for a while. And then I switched down to the ad-supported version because we weren't really watching it much. And I share it with a couple friends. And they're like, dude, these ads are ridiculous. Like every time it was an ad break, you'd get literally 2 minutes of ads. And not even Tubi is that bad. When Tubi is free and completely ad-supported. So, like, I don't get that one. But I spent the most of this morning trying to get it upgraded back to the ad-free version, and I just kept getting a weird message, and I had to call. Well, I called customer support, and it said that I was going to be waiting for 45 minutes, and I'm like, I can't do that. So I got on the chat, and it took like 15 minutes. I finally got it fixed, at least, but that was my funness for today. I had to take the dogs to the vet this morning too.
Oh no! Did you have to put one down?
No, no. I did get some more bait for fishing. No,
That's disgusting.
It was just checkup day. They just had to go. Our two older dogs had to go get some vaccinations and some blood work and all that good stuff, and get checked out, make sure that they're doing all right. I had to kick out some kids from the movie theater last night because they tried to sneak in to a movie, one after curfew, and two, they didn't buy tickets. So that was fun.
Did the movie have boobs in it?
No, it was Creed 3.
Oh, so it didn't have boobs in it. Okay.
No. But it was kind of funny because
sneak into that? Why would you risk getting banned from the movie theater to see Creed 3?
I don't know. Hey everybody, we're back. We're just talking about me having to kick out some kids last night who were in our theater. One after curfew, and two, they didn't buy movie tickets for the special preview screening we had of Creed 3 last night. And like they were kids, like 10, 11, 12-ish.
Well, they're stupid. That explains
yeah,
it.
no, they were really dumb. And I'm not just saying that because they're kids, but they were like, I gotta give this the proper story here. It's not anything crazy, but
you tell your story, then I'll tell a story super quick.
They came in and everybody was kind of busy, at the concessions and everything, and they just kind of came in, and two of them just went into the theater, and I'm like, hang on, and the third one stayed out. And he went up to the concession thing. I don't think he was going to buy tickets. I think he was just going to buy like some popcorn or some drink or whatever. And the guy there asked him for his ID because we have a curfew that starts at 6 p.m. And if you're not 18 years or older with a valid ID, we don't even let you in the building.
There's a curfew.
If you're there with somebody 21 or older that's going to stay with you through the movie, then you're okay. But
is this curfew just for the theater?
It's for it's our it's like one of our company policies. Okay. And for us it starts at 6 p.m. So one, they shouldn't have been in there for that anyway. And then they were in the movie and they didn't buy tickets or anything. So I went in there to talk to the other two because the other one was just like in the lobby. And I'm like, hey guys, I just need your tickets and your IDs. And they're like, what? IDs? And I'm like, yes, you have to be 18 or older to be in here right now. And then they tried. They thought it was because of the movie. And they're like, oh, this isn't Ant-Man? And I'm like, even if it was Ant-Man, you're not allowed to be in the building right now. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they got up and left. Well, the theater that was screening Creed is normally the one that we have our 3D movies in. And so they all grabbed like a pair of the kid-sized 3D glasses when they went in, and they left. I had to go outside to get a picture of one of our parking lot lights that was out. It was just like, a safety thing or whatever. And the kids are like halfway through the parking lot, and I hear the one go, "All right, ready? 1, 2, 3." And then they all yelled out. "We got your glasses, bitch!" And I'm like, "Congratulations, those are free." And then they're like, "What?" And then they like took off running through the rest of the parking lot and left. But they were just dumb. That was the only excitement that we had yesterday. Otherwise, it was just a pretty uneventful evening. Didn't have to kick anybody out for having sex again last night, which is always good. I've had to do that 3 times over the past 4 weeks.
That's disgusting. Why would you do such a thing?
And they're in the bathroom, it's always in one of the bathrooms. Yeah, the last one they were both in the men's room in one of the stalls.
What in the hell is happening in Michigan?
I don't know, Dave. It was awful. The last 2 I scared the crap out of, but I did it on purpose because I wanted them to be scared and embarrassed. Because hopefully now they won't ever do it again, anywhere. And they had a car, they were sitting out in the car most of the time in the parking lot, and then they come in and decide to do that. Guys, just stay in the car. Park out a little bit farther away from everybody. Yeah, or go to a house. Well,
how about just not bone in public at all? How about that?
There you go. That's the answer right there. But I saw that they were both in the stall, and I just kind of walked over and I started pounding on the side of the stall wall, and I'm like, "Get out!" And they had to get decent and to get out. And they walked out, and I'm like, "Yep, you guys need to go. You can't be doing that in my bathrooms." And I'm like, "You guys are not allowed ever back in this theater again." And people are watching me escort them out. And it was great. I really hope that they rethink their lives.
Well, my story is not nearly as interesting as that. I work in a supermarket. I'm not going to say which one. But we close at... I don't know why we're even open that late, but we closed at 11. And of course, I'm the overnight custodian, or one of them. And I got a call saying, "Hey, we have a jam spill over by Frozen." So I get on our scrubber, I'm riding over, and I'm going through one of the aisles to get there. And this couple rounds the corner. And the guy is just hanging out inside there. He's got to be at least 23. Uh-huh. He's hanging out inside the cart, in the compartment, just with his knees up to his chest, just sitting there talking to his girlfriend, just hanging out with his arms hanging out the side, just talking to him. His girlfriend's pushing him in the cart.
Oh my gosh!
And I just And I saw them, and they saw me and the chick made eye contact, and I just did that. You can't see me, but I just did the thumb, "Hey, he's got to get out." Come on.
Yeah.
And they tried to go past me they didn't know what that meant.
Oh, come on.
And I stopped them, and I said, "Guy, no, he has to get out of the cart." And he's like, "Huh?" And his girlfriend just looks at him "You come on, you have to get out of the cart." And so he does this big number where he just puts one leg over and then swings the other leg over, jumps out, then looks at me. He's like, "Is that better, sir?" And I'm just of course, I was just "Thank you." And I went on my way, but I felt more bad for the chick, man. Because just really, this guy? This is the guy.
I like it when you catch people doing stuff and they try to act like they weren't doing it.
"Oh, why are you being a buzzkill?" I'd be I don't want your ass in my shopping cart.
I was dropping a food order off to one of the people in one of the theaters. Because we have it, if you come order something and it takes, a few minutes to make, we'll just bring it into the theater for you. And it was Cocaine Bear. And I walked all the way up because, of course, they were in the all the way top row at the very back of the theater, and handed it to him. I took like 3 steps down, and I heard somebody opening a can of something. You know, that psh noise. And so I stopped. Like, first of all, you see me. I'm right there. Like, I'm standing right next to you. And I turned and I look, and I saw the only people that really could have been. And I walk over. I'm like, did you just open that? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go check. I'll be right back. So I went to the manager's desk, pulled up the security camera. Sure enough, opening a can of something. The person who I thought it was.
Was it alcohol or?
I don't know. All I did is I walked back in there, went right back up to their seat, and I'm just like, I am going to need that can. And she reached down, handed it to me, and I threw it away as I was walking out of the theater. I didn't even bother checking to see what it was, because it doesn't really matter what it was. Like, if you're going to sneak it in, you got to be sneaky. Like, don't open shit.
It's not that hard, because, of course, we all do it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're not going to pay $9 for a Coke. I mean, come on, give me a break.
Right.
So I don't judge them, like, for that, but, like, to do it, like, right in front of you, I mean, of course you have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I see it, you know, then I got to act on it. But if I don't see it, then I don't really care. I mean,
yeah.
we had somebody, and I don't know how the hell they even got it in there, but we had a full-on pizza box in one of our trash cans one night. And I have no idea. I commend whoever did that on how they got that in there and not, like, you know, made a mess. Like, that's a good job. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed that you were able to do that. But yeah, that's enough rambling about stuff. Thanks, Dave. But
I just wanted to see. I just came in. I just wanted to see what Josh was saying. I just want to see if Josh was saying anything interesting.
I don't even know if Josh is still in here. I mean, it says we still got multiple viewers, but I'm excited. Oh, there he is. Josh is here.
Oh, hello, Josh.
I'm excited.
Anybody else lurking? If you interact with the host, we will say hi to you. Yes. Oh, hi, Josh. So just say hello, just like Josh just did. I'm not drunk, by the way. I'm not inhibited by alcohol at all. But we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian.
Yeah. You stuck a 2-liter into a theater? Good job.
About The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I about said something extremely dirty, and I stopped myself.
Hey, what's up, Hero Squad? I see you in here lurking.
If I hadn't stopped myself, it would have been he snuck it in his pants.
And nobody noticed because it's just the norm. No. So The Mandalorian. This was a lot of hey, let's reintroduce some of these side characters and set up the whole season. And we get the opening scene is the armorer. And so that was kind of weird. I'm like, why are we showing the armorer here? Like, and she's making a helmet.
Yes. At first, I thought this was like the past.
Yeah, I did too. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like a flashback or something.
Yeah.
No, it's current time. They're making a helmet for one of the their younglings.
One of their little baby Boba Fett's
taking the oath. And we got a whole bunch of Boba Fett's on the beach.
You made him a little tiny Boba Fett helmet. Like, here, you're going to be a little baby Boba. You get a little be a play. You get a little baby Boba Fett.
And then it was kind of like Django's helmet a little bit color wise. It was more blue, but it did, you know, it had the blue, the same shade of blue. It looked like that.
You can never take this helmet off, even if it has to grow with you.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you'll be 23 years old and your head will be like stuck in this peanut butter jar. Don't take it off. Damn you.
So right after the kid repeats the oath, then there's a disturbance in the water and it's a big giant alligator.
Okay, I have big problems with this.
Yeah, Dave sent me a
'Cause-
message as he was watching. He's like, "Why is there a giant alligator?"
Why? Okay, so they're doing this ceremony, and this giant and suddenly out of nowhere, there's a giant alligator attack,
Yes.
and I'm just like, why is this happening? Jon Favreau sitting there writing the script, and then like this isn't very interesting, and then a giant alligator bursts out. Like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so great! So many Boba Fetts are gonna fight the giant alligator. It's gonna be so awesome.
One gets
I don't know how
crunched
Jon
up.
Favreau talks, but it's,
One grab ones and chomped up that Mando, and then they're trying to fight it off with everything they've got, and it's just not enough, and things are looking bleak, and then all of a sudden, here comes Mando in his
Hero
new
Squad
little
here?
ship. Yeah, Hero Squad's lurking, I think.
Oh.
I went into the moderators thing and checked to see who was
Okay.
here. Yeah, he comes flying in to save the day. He blows it up, and then there's a decent number of guts that came flying out of it when he exploded it. I was kind of
alligator. All that alligator wanted was some dinner. That's all that alligator wanted.
and instead it got exploded. And Mando like goes in to talk to the armorer, and the armorer's like, "You took off your helmet. You don't belong here anymore." And he's like, "I'm gonna go back to
Apparently, Mando
Mandalore."
can't lie.
Yeah, he just has to say what's
Be like,
going
oh
on.
yeah, I did it. What, huh?
He's like, I'm gonna go bathe in the waters and the living waters
Catholic
of
upbringing
Mandalore.
got him.
Yeah, and I'll be absolved of my transgressions. And the armor's like, that doesn't exist anymore because they destroyed Mandalore. And he's like, well, I'm gonna go find out because look, someone got this chunk of this gem out of one of our mines. And the armor's like, oh, okay, bye.
Okay,
Mando-
it's like, okay, fine. Like if you want to go die, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mando
But-
took off back in his ship.
Why do they have to be so literal? Like, okay, so like in order to be redeemed, you have to go bathe in the river below the streets of Mandalore, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
But if
This is-
Mandalore doesn't exist anymore, it's like, okay, well, I mean, there's got to be some. It's obviously, clearly, just ceremonial.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's the sect he's in is, a bunch of zealots, and it's more of a cult than anything, and he wants to be reaccepted into that because that's all he knows. When they
But also,
leave,
you can't lie. Like, okay, here's the thing. Oh, I have this piece of green glass that says that it came from wherever the hell on Mandalore.
yeah, he's like,
Be
he
like,
could have said,
if
I
I
went and
brought you-
got this. This is my proof.
If I brought you proof, then you could have to accept, like, yeah, sure, of course. Why didn't you just be like, oh, I did it. Here's my proof.
Yeah,
Here's the
Yeah.
proof already.
that's all he needed to do. But then we
'Cause
wouldn't
he's
have much of a
dumb.
season.
Because he's
We
an
wouldn't have much of a
idiot.
season if we did that. And they take off, and this part I really liked the little touch they did here when they're traveling through hyperspace, and Mando is obviously sleeping.
Oh, yeah, he's a slipping.
And little Grogu is sitting there looking out his little goober viewing hole that he's got.
And he sees whale silhouettes on the other side of the hyperspace thing.
Yes, specifically the Purgles.
The what?
They're called Purgles. They we saw them. I think we saw them first in Rebels, and it's actually those are the creatures that took Ezra and Thrawn at the very end of Rebels. Like that's where they disappeared. They disappeared with these Purgle whales, and because the whales can travel through hyperspace, and they took the two of them, and that was where the show ended. That's why Ahsoka is looking for him, when
Tell
she
me
showed
what
up
a
in
Grand
season 2.
Admiral Thrawn is.
Yeah.
They better pay that off. By the way,
They
You
will.
can't
They will.
They cannot. You cannot say his name and then not show him to me in the flesh.
Because we've been waiting. I say we, but I'm just saying Star
I'll
Wars
watch
fans
Rebels.
collectively. We've been waiting to find out what happened to Ezra and Thrawn since the end of Rebels.
Who cares about Rebels or who
Rebels
cares
was-
about Ezra?
Rebels was good. Like
Thrawn.
it started off very much aimed at kids, and then like halfway through the first season, they're like, "All right, we're gonna spread our audience up here a little bit to older
Anyway,
people."
I was
They
really
brought in
hoping-
like Darth Vader and Palpatine, and then of course the big bad for the last couple seasons of the show was Thrawn, and it's very, very interesting, and I'm looking forward to Ahsoka simply because I want to see Thrawn and Ezra like in the flesh. I want to see both of them. Mostly Thrawn, because Thrawn it's Thrawn. I mean,
Yeah, come on, Thrawn is, especially if you're a big EU fan or Legends, as they say now,
Legends.
which I am. But this whole thing now, what are those whale monsters called again? You said
The Purrgil.
okay. I was really hoping. I don't know why, but I was really hoping this had some connection to Fraggle Rock, because that it seems like a Fraggle word. Like if this thing, like if Mandalorian somehow is connecting to Fraggle Rock, I'll get the ad-free plan on Disney Plus. I'm down for that.
So Mando goes back to the
Navarro.
place where it all began. He goes back to Navarro.
Navarro is a fine planet.
Yes. Josh says that the Fraggles are in the caves under the planet.
Down
But,
Fraggle Rock. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so they go to go see him. Who's he's the High Magistrate now. he calls
The
himself.
High Magistrate.
People
You
refer to him as
peasant.
Magistrate, and he's like High Magistrate.
I could program you to say High Magistrate, but I like correcting people because
Yeah, it was
it calls
his.
attention to the fact that I'm the High Magistrate.
It was his
And
droid
that's
that.
clearly an office we made up yesterday.
Yeah. But it's basically a completely different city now.
Populated with member berries, populated with Admiral Akbars, populated with Salacious Crumbs.
We had a whole tree of Salacious Crumbs.
All kinds of member berries, man.
And so Mando goes to talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, well, yeah, whatever you need, man." He's like, "I do need like a marshal though," and they're like, "Oh, what happened to Marshal Dune?" And he's just like, "Oh, she got recruited by the Special Operations Unit or whatever."
Is that
so
Gia
they're
Carano?
like, "Yeah." So they're trying to just
she was fired for some dumb BS. We don't talk about it. Why do you even bring it up?
Yeah, well, because they have to get that one line in there
She's an extremely popular character that's not on the show anymore.
So then the droid comes in and interrupts, and they're like, "Hey, so there's like pirates here, pirates in the city. They want to talk to you. There's pirates." I thought that was kind of funny how many times the droid said pirates. And so they go and they're like outside of what is now a school. It used to be a bar. That's
and this one guy just doesn't get it. He like refuses to get it.
Yeah,
and he got all his men killed.
This was a bar, and it's gonna be a bar. We're gonna go drink in there, and they have like a standoff
over the dumbest stuff. Because you'd be like, "Come on, you can have a drink in my." I'm the president now.
Yeah,
it's like I'm the president of this whole planet. Come have a drink in my office. Also, why am I talking to you? Why am I not sending an aide or something?
Yeah. And the guy's like, "No, we're going to drink here because this used to be a bar." And I say it still is. And then
he'd be like, "I have a gun too."
They have a standoff. He shoots the gun out of the pirate's hand. And then he's like, "You guys need to go." And then his other pirate pals pull out guns, and Mando's just like, "Nope," pew 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 pew, and he takes all of them out. And
Grogu's just watching all this like cute.
Yeah, Grogu's like he's murderous, man. He loves watching people eat it, and so the guy leaves, And it's like, I wonder if we're going to see them anymore in this season. Turns out the answer is yes.
Turns out we see him immediately.
Yes. Mando leaves, even though the guy's... Oh, no, he doesn't leave yet. There's one more very important thing that happens. He takes the statue of IG-11, at least the parts that were actually IG-11's parts. And he's like, I need a droid that I can trust. And he's the only one I can trust, pointing at this statue.
That's such bullcrap. Why don't you program one you can trust, you freaking moron?
And he's like, oh, sure, I guess we can try and reactivate him. And they reactivate it. It's just the upper half of him.
Immediately he tries to kill Grogu.
Yeah, he's like crawling around like the Terminator. And like they're shooting at it and it's not doing anything. And then all of a sudden the droid pushes the bust of the High Magistrate on the IG-11 unit, crushing its head. And Mando says, talk about using your head. I'm like, they did not.
Oh, did he say that? Oh, I thought that was something you said.
No, Mando said that.
I was groaning too hard.
No, Mando said that. And I'm like, oh, they did not. They didn't just do that. So then they're just like, well, I guess that's that. And he's like, no, I think we should still try and repair him. And he's like, oh, we got a little house full of Babu freaks in here. And they might be able to fix him.
I'm just offended by any reminder that Episode 9 exists.
And so they go into this little shop for the Babu Fricks, and they're all trying
to tell him in the cutest way possible.
He's like, no,
buy another robot.
We can't fix him. He's dead. And Grogu grabs one and like starts hugging.
And he's like, oh yeah, Grogu's way into it. Grogu's way into the Babu Frick.
They're like, no squeezy. No squeezy, not pets, bad baby. So
is one of them Babu Frick?
I don't think so.
Because we're good, like what, 30 years before that?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't remember what they're like Andalasians or something. I don't remember what the heck they are called. And I'm not looking it up right now. But yeah, it's so funny. It was dumb, and I just laughed so hard. So they leave. They're like, you need to get him. We need to fix his memory core. And they're like, all right, do it. And they're like, all right, we'll try. And then Mando leaves, and this is where we
pirates immediately.
Yeah, it's the clip where he's like, you got to learn how to travel the galaxy properly. And then like 6 pirate ships show up in an asteroid field, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a badass space fight because like Mando's literally just popping out of nowhere, just blowing them up. It's just like he pops out, explodes one, and then hides again, and then pops out from a different place and explodes one and hides again.
And their leader is like Swamp Thing Jeffrey Rush from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes. And because he's like the same pirate that was left on the surface of the planet is the last one who didn't get it blown up by Mando.
Yeah, he got all his men murdered because he wanted to drink at a school. It's like, buddy, there's no alcohol in there. That was worth the lives of all your men, you idiot.
And he's like, yeah, I'm leading them to you, Captain. And he gets there, and it's this huge ship. Like, and Mando's like, yeah, we can't win here. We need to go. And just like hits the boosters and just dips out. And the Swamp Thing space pirate is just like, come back here. that was the end. Like he literally was like a plant creature. He had like these long vines hanging down off of his face. Yeah, it was a little Swamp Thing. And then I think it was the very last thing we get is when he goes to some other planet and he's like, this is this planet. It's in the Mandalore system. And he's just like, and that's a Mandalorian castle. And
he goes in the castle and I guess he talks to a droid first. Goes into this big long empty hallway, and Katie Sackhoff is just hanging out at the end of it, right? Yep. And he walks up to him, being like, "Oh, hey, Katie Sackhoff, what's going on? Where's Sasha Banks?" And she's like, "They all left because you have the Darksaber, jackass."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, well, that sucks."
And she's like, you still have it? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, well, get it out and swing it around, and they'll do whatever you say.
And he's like, okay, I'll go do that. And he's like, you want to come? She's like, no, I'm sitting here hanging out by myself here on my throne.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, I'm going to go back to Mandalore. And she's like, that planet's poisoned. And he's like, I'll be the judge of that. And then she's like, okay, bye. And that's the end of it. It's just like,
yeah, that's the end of it. It's like, I don't know, not a strong start. I don't think.
it was just a lot of like setup for everything else that's going to happen this season. As far as like the space pirates and him going to Mandalore, probably the space pirates will find him there and they'll have a big showdown, and that'll be the end of the season.
Than Book of Boba Fett.
That was. You
probably. I'm more invested in it than Obi-Wan, and it's like Obi-Wan had some big problems.
Yeah,
but
I don't. I think everybody will agree with that. Everybody will have different reasons for not liking it, but there were some issues. I thought it was fine. It wasn't anything great. And of course, the way they ended it, I was like, "Ooh, hey, fan service!" So that made me a little happy. But
I think with Obi-Wan, if they had it should have been a movie, and it should have been.
It was going to be originally.
Better.
It was going to be a movie.
Yeah, because it was basically a sequel to Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But I don't think we learned anything in Obi-Wan that we didn't already know, with the exception of maybe how Vader got that little crack in his head.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a cool part, but it's like, I think for different reasons than other people think, we're not going to get into that aspect of it. I just think that, what was her name, third sister or something? I think she was horribly miscast.
Yeah.
Not for the same reasons other people would say.
Yeah, the most toxic part of the fan base.
Yeah. She just came off as Darth, that chick you went to high school with. That's how she came off. She didn't really have that kind of she didn't really have a powerful presence as, say, what was that guy that she supposedly killed but then came back, the alien guy, the Grand Inquisitor,
one of the brothers. I don't remember.
I thought,
wasn't that Han
we
from
see more of that guy? He had a cool alien design. I thought he should have been in more of the season.
Yeah, she was just a person.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they made Obi-Wan too much of a sad sack. But that's just me.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited about seeing where this season of Mandalorian is going to go. Hopefully, some more fun. Which I have a little bit of faith in that.
Eat more eggs, and then see
girl
people,
go eat the eggs.
It's just see people flip out about it. We need to talk about. You remember that? We need to talk about Baby Yoda eating that woman's egg. It's not real.
Yeah, this is not real. It's a TV show. No, I honestly, for a split second, when he picked up that little Babu Frick guy, that he was going to try and eat him. I really thought for just a split second.
He likes to eat.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, don't eat the Babu Frick. And then they started yelling at him, no squeezy, and yeah.
He just wanted to be cute. Here's the thing with the Mandalorian, and I think they kind of encountered this with Book of Boba Fett, is that how do you top running like that whole sequence with Luke Skywalker?
I don't know.
I don't know how you top that. I don't know where you go from that.
They're gonna have to try, but I'm afraid they're gonna try and it's gonna fall flat on its face. I'd like to see more of him. I mean, I know we had him in Book of Boba Fett, but have him. I don't know. It just seems like a waste. You don't need a CGI. Okay, friends. Here's what they should do. Cancel whatever bullcrap you got going on with Winter Soldier, okay? Because that shit ain't working. All right, and hire Sebastian Stan to be Luke Skywalker, in his mid-30s or his early 40s. Even Mark Hamill's like, yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
he's good with the idea of him playing not quite.
Everybody wants
Luke.
that. Okay, everyone wants Sebastian Stan to be Luke Skywalker. Okay.
Even Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. So have him on and just do it. Just the adventures of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And then just like you can bring in you can do all the EU fan service you want. You can there's like a whole 30 years of his life to cover, man. You can bring in Mara Jade, you can bring in you can do anything you want. Anything you want with Luke Skywalker.
If they ever brought in Mara Jade, people would lose their minds.
Well, yeah,
they would be so excited for that.
Even recast. I don't care. Recast Princess Leia and Han Solo. I mean, at this point, okay. Can we talk about? Speaking of that, I know we're going off on a thing here, but can we talk about how we don't need Indiana Jones 5?
We'll definitely be talking about that movie when that comes out. Because
all right, we'll save it. But
I don't think it's going to be as bad as the fourth one necessarily.
I think it's going to be way worse.
It's not going to be good. There's no way.
No,
that it could actually be good.
Dude, it's got time travel in it.
Unless they somehow pull off whatever the magic they used for Top Gun Maverick.
Harrison Ford don't got that in it. Harrison Ford is not Tom Cruise.
I think he would be more Val Kilmer in that.
Oh no!
Harrison Ford is also going to be the president in the MCU.
What?
Yeah.
William Hurt, Air Force 1, 2.
I don't know. William Hurt was Thunderbolt Ross. Up until he passed.
Be the president?
So Thunderbolt Ross is now going to be played by Harrison Ford, and he is going to be president in the next Captain America movie
of the United States.
Yep.
Who's going to believe? That's unbelievable. Who's going to believe that we could have an 80-year-old president out there smelling everyone's hair and stuff?
And on that note,
sorry.
All right, guys. I think that's gonna wrap us up for today. I gotta go pick up my son's car in a little bit. Anyway, I think they should be about done with it. You are welcome, Josh. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for everybody else who was lurking in here during this. And yeah, we'll see everybody later. I'm not gonna do another outro because I probably won't do anything with this second.
You're not gonna upload this?
Part. Well, I will, but I'm gonna move it before the other. I'm gonna chop up the outro that we did before and put it after.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah.
But thanks for hanging out through the True Blue Riffcast and the True Blue Mando cast. And
it's the same podcast.
It is the same podcast. We will see everybody next week, hopefully, right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.
Rock till you die.